Okay, welcome to the BravoTime Gaming, doing a quick tutorial on how to play Civ. We'll have the loading screen in a second, but I'm just sitting here playing my friend Mouseling. Say hello, Mouseling. He will be coming through a little bit quieter, so you might need to turn your speakers up to hear him, I'm afraid, but I think it was all running fine. We're just doing a quick tutorial because there is a few differences between this and Civ 5. I'll explain a bit more about that in a second because we've got a bit of a loading screen in a sec, and I thought we'd start off with setting up a Civ, first of all. So you've got four effects basically that you've got. There's no longer various civs like you don't have France anymore, you don't have England anymore. You choose different sponsors and cargo and things like that. So I think best bet probably have a look at it, eh?
Seems like a good plan.
Okay, we're not going to go into major details, but you start off with your sponsor. They can get various effects like extra trade routes, orbital units, which we'll go into details about later. Like the Slavic, for example, their orbital units stay in the air longer. Um, Free tax potential, free production bonuses, towards wonders anyway, food, that kind of jazz. And so I think we'll start off. You know what? I'm just gonna go for the worker speed, and we'll stick with that just now. Next up, we choose our. I think it's our population type. It's classed as. You can choose whether the artists, engineers, aristocrats, that kind of jazz. Affects your main resources. In case you're wondering, energy is instead of gold now, but we'll go into a bit more detail about that later. Same as health instead of happiness, but I think we'll go for production boost just so we can go into details. Then we've got our ship module. This can be things like reveal alien nests on the map, begin with extra energy, stuff like that. I think we'll go for the tutorial. I'm going to go for the wider landmass starting area. Yeah, I presume you're able to choose the same ones as me, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Cool. And then last of all, we've got cargo.
I know which one I'm going.
Gonna start with a worker.
Make that little orbital.
Cool. Okay, and then so we'll see how the actual multiplayer holds up and whether it does its usual. We're gonna disconnect you a million times like it did in Civ 5, or if it's actually gonna load.
And it's not working again.
Are you taking the piss, or is it actually not working?
I'm taking it.
Oh, thank fuck. This is the first attempt at loading a multiplayer game, by the way, folks. Anyway, I'll run through the quick tutorial. Basically, we're just doing a quick, short video.
The screen will be different.
Yeah, we're just going through a quick tutorial to explain a few of the differences between this and Civ 5, because some of it can be a little overbearing to start with. Once you get going, you kind of realise, oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, so instead of starting with a settler, you start off. This is the area that I can spawn my city in. Now, normally it's the basic city, the one hex with the one outer border, but I chose an increased starting area. So we're going to choose where we want to go. I think we're just going to straight up. I'm just going to straight up start in the middle of my territory. And then your ship actually comes into land. And that's your capital.
And you can see there's other people who landed if you look on the map. If you look, east of you, you should see where my city is landed.
Oh yeah, there you are. I see you now. You're up in the corner. Also, when you're playing single player, the AI don't start at the same time as you. They spawn in a little bit behind. Like they come in at a staggered pace. I suppose where's best to start then, really?
Yeah.
As you can see, the worker units look a little bit different, but they kind of work the same. And you've got explorers instead of scouts. With the exception, this is a good point to start with, I think. The explorers get expedition modules. If you come across ruins or you can come across like old city ruins or like downed satellites and stuff. Now, an explorer can go up to it and they build. Effectively, they do an expedition at the site, and then you get a reward. It's kind of similar to the ruins from Civ 5. Kind of a cross, but yeah, I would say it's kind of a cross between the ruins and the um, artifacts, basically.
And I also have a point next to me.
Oh yeah, you've got pods, which are basically your ruins. You step onto them, you get an instant bonus. Um, if you use up your expedition module, you need to move the unit back into your city, and then it replenishes your modules. So that's a quick bit with that. Right, we'll go into the actual city. As you can see, the overlay is a little bit different on this. You've still got your purchase, and you use, like I said, you use energy now instead of gold. So, we'll go and you'll find some buildings are similar to Civ 5 and some are different. Like, you've got Old Earth Relics, which is basically the monument. But then again, you've got things like the clinic, which gives you a science boost and a health boost. Health's quite important in this. I suppose we'll start with that one.
I'm ready.
Okay, pretty much, I think, right, now you've no longer got basically luxury resources in this. You've now instead, you've still got your strategic resources, which are things like Feraxite here, and Xenomass, things like that. You need them to build certain buildings or certain upgrades or things like that later on, the same as you did before. They're a bit more balanced though. Like, it's not a case of, yeah, I've got iron, 10 turns later, iron's useless, you know? But you also have things like, you've got like stuff like copper and coral, which if you work them you get certain bonuses. Like later on there's a research you can do that copper effectively, I think, increases your research rate as well with a certain building.
Not too sure about that.
But you can't trade. You can trade your strategic resources, but you can't trade things like algae or gold or things like that anymore. That just gives you little bonuses for your civ to do stuff. We'll just put our guys on automated for just now. Where's best? Right. Okay. We'll go through. I'll explain the resources quickly as well. So as you can see, this is your strategic resources here. Like I said, you need gone through that. You still got your culture, but culture no longer. What it does now is it gives you virtues, which is this screen here. You get synergy bonuses for these. So if you put 5 points into might, then you'll gain 5% combat strength and range strength for all units. And same as like they each have different advantages, but only once you've got the synergy bonus. And these little bars at the top here, they're effectively there to show you like how close you are to each synergy. There's 3 different tiers for it. So that's where your culture goes. Health is instead of happiness. Now, if you go into negative, you get a bit of a penalty. If you go into a major negative, that's when you start having trouble, but it's not quite as crippling as it was on Civ 5. Same as you get some nice bonuses for, like, as you can see, for the starting level of 5, I get 20% speed towards outposts. Outposts are basically, well, we'll talk about them soon once we build one. You've also got energy, which is instead of your gold, sure dude, and you've got science, the same as before, and your turn numbers, obviously. So we need to choose a science. Now, I'll be honest, you zoom out and you think it doesn't look that bad, and you zoom in, and you've got your main sciences, which are the top ones. And once you've unlocked that, you can do either of the sub ones. It still works the same of, like, you know, if I do pioneering, for example, this is how you get your colonist unit and trade units. So I think we'll start off with that one, but that's going to take 18 turns at the start. Your best bet with science, I mean, like I said, this is a basic tutorial, so your best bet with science is just to play the game and sort of have a look around. However, if you decide there's a filter tab, so say you're having issues with health like I was having in my first game, you can click health and it'll show you all the various things that will give you your health, bonuses to health. It'll highlight them. Same as you can see, there's various, it will do all sorts, you know. So we'll come out of that now. We'll click next turn. Okay, so we found a resource pod. That's them there. We'll just straight up. Where is our scout gone? There he is. Yep, as you can see, our scout's already en route to him. So we'll find out what that is next turn. It's a bit like your usual, you know, you can fire through your first couple of turns quite quickly. I'm just taking a quick bit of time to explain some things as we go. So we'll move on to it. Okay, so... Yep, we found a basic satellite in R1. So we get a free solar collector, and that'll be perfect to explain something new. One of the new features in this game is effectively you've got your orbital view. And I don't know if anyone who's played Alpha Centauri will remember something a little similar to this from back then. What it is I just got a satellite. So the best way to do it is just show you. We'll go to launch. Now, various satellites give you various bonuses. The solar collector effectively increases, I think it's for each worker tile that I've got, it increases my energy input. So, this blue marker, if I go out with it, for the center of it, I can't place satellite. This is where I can effectively launch satellites, and the green circle is obviously where it affects. So pretty much right now we want that bang in the middle. Now you kind of have satellites overlap, so if I was to get another satellite I would have to put it, if it was the same size it would have to be like down here, because the blue circles can't overlap effectively, because I think it's basically meant to represent it's crashing into each other. But that'll sit up there, and effectively that'll just sit there for... Ooh, can you remember how many turns they sit there for, Daniel? Oh, here we go. That one, for example, will sit in orbit for 40 turns. You get ones that will remove things like miasma. We'll go into details about that in a bit. I think they only sit in orbit for like 6 turns, but when they're done, they remove all miasma in its range and stuff. Someone else that's new to this, you've got quests. As you do certain things, you'll get quests, and then you'll get objectives with it. They're effectively short-term goals to give you bonuses to help towards your end game goals. So this quest is saying our sponsors basically sent resource pods ahead. So we'll get a bonus if we find 2 more resource pods. I think it's like a free science building or something that one gets. I've seen some of them. Basically, quests are really interesting. You don't have to do them, but if you can do them, you usually get some sort of unit building and advance, bonus to certain structures, extra resources. So they're definitely worth doing. They help out a lot. Can you think of anything I'm missing so far with the stuff I've been saying, Daniel?
Far as I can think of, not really. Oh, did you talk about having? Oh yeah, you talked about the expedition modules.
Yep, mentioned that. Oh, we've got a loading screen. So it looks like Civ's still doing this. Now, obviously, we are still in early points for this, but so maybe it's just it's been out less than a day.
Oh, there we go.
Are we both still in it? I think we're both still in it. Yeah, we are. That's good. Okay. As you can see, the loading screens, thankfully, are nowhere near as long as they used to be. Okay. Oh, I suppose we could do a quick talk about the terrain features. Now, I've talked about the resources and stuff. As you can see, you've still got ocean and things like that, coastlines. You still got your forests and things, technically, although they do look a little different. But one of the... You need to be careful, because effectively there's things like, if I zoom in here, you see this green mist stuff. This stuff's called miasma. Now, to start with, that actually hurts quite a bit. If your unit ends... if your unit ends its turn in it, it loses 10 hit points. So, it can stack up. Now, you can get advantages later on. We'll talk about these points up here later on. But if you go down the Harmony route, for example, you can end up getting healed by it instead. There is still various features, like you still have mountains and stuff like that. You still got desert, hills. They still kind of work the same. Like rivers let you build certain structures and give you I think increased food and stuff like that. You do, however, also have chasms. They're effectively, you can be on each side of them, but you can't cross that way. Like you would have to physically move around it. Mountains, impassable, that kind of. I think miasma is the only real major new terrain threat, though, isn't it? As you can see, there's a river down here.
Like the worms, and there are also things as well called krakens.
Oh yeah, I found a kraken yesterday. I was like, I thought it was an island to start with, but I'll try and go into a bit more details about the aliens once we find some. But for some reason, we're not coming across any. Here we go.
I have a couple of alien nests.
Okay, I'll maybe start scouting towards you then. As you can see, folks, I got another quest, so I've still got the other one. But I've also found an outpost now. I'm already researching pioneering, thankfully, though.
I'm researching genetics.
Yep. See, as you can see, folks, my worker just cleared a forest, so it still does the usual thing, like, you still get your production boost, like that one-time production boost and stuff to help. Because, yeah, he's effectively trying to get fruit. If that tile's worked, I get an extra food than I would have. Later on, if I go back into a wee bit more about the satellites, there is various satellites you can get. I know there's one that will increase culture output in the tiles. There's also one that will effectively it'll spawn a couple of random resources in empty tiles and things like that. Ah, here we go. Trade outposts. If you do these are instead of your... Effectively, these guys are instead of your city-states. Now, they don't build units and they don't have tiles. They're effectively a one-tile city. They're there for you get a big bonus if you trade with them. Pretty much, you can't, like, you'll get them fighting over each other like city-states did, like, you know, oh, I don't like this one, he's competing with me, please take him out, and then he'll like you more, and vice versa. And some of them, like, I think Farbase 1, when I was playing on a previous campaign, I started trading with it and ended up getting a quest saying they were doing unhuman, inhumane genetic modifications, and I was asked if I could go to war with them. And then I got a choice of stay with them and they would give me a better trade agreement, or go to war with them and then complete the quest the other way. And it all depends on, it affects the outcome of the game pretty much, and leads you down different potential victory routes. Okay, so as you can see, we just got our first virtue. I think we're just going to go for prosperity so that we can get like that little bit extra, just to show off some of the stuff, I think. So as you can see, you click on it, that one will give me an extra 10% food retained city when it grows. If I get 4 more, I get more bonuses. I think we'll get an extra explorer on the go. Oh, one other thing about the trade routes. You can only have one trade route going. So if I start trading with Farbase 1, Daniel won't be able to. So there's also, you don't have a maximum number of trade routes. Each city has its own maximum number of trade routes. So it actually encourages you. I mean, like on Civ 5, I found a lot of the time I just set up one city as a trade city and just put all my trade units there. I'm sure you probably did something like that as well, did you, Daniel? You basically on Civ 5 you use like a city for trade.
Yeah.
So on this, like, it actually encourages you to have multiple cities trading, but you need to build trade outposts and things. As you can see, it still comes up saying, oh look, your population's growing, blah blah blah, and it still works the same, you know, the number of people you've got in your town, the more tiles you can work. You don't need to any longer go into buy tile, you just go into it and then you can see the tiles you can buy already and stuff. Ah, there you go. See, it ended the turn miasma and it took some damage. Alien life forms heal when they're in miasma though, so you need to watch for that. Where the hell is all the aliens? The first game I played, there was literally aliens everywhere.
Ends up attacking. They held my. Oh, it's not a scout, it's a.
Oh, wait, here's one. See, you've got different types of aliens in this. This is just one of the small ones. But if I show you the Explorer, if I was to attack with the Explorer, he's straight up killed. Now, you've got effects like, if you start attacking the aliens all the time, the aliens become more aggressive towards you, and they're more likely to attack you. You can, however, you can get bonuses for basically wiping them out, or taming them, or effectively becoming harmonious towards them. which is where you pretty much you adapt to the planet, if you know what I mean. That looks like a ruins. Is it? Yep, there's a derelict settlement, so I'll be able to show you that next turn, folks. If my work dude doesn't get annihilated by this alien that just ran up to him.
Are you close to my base?
You have discovered
Yeah.
pioneering.
The bug, are you gonna take them out?
Well, it's just for the tutorial.
Actually, I'd like to do that. I actually think it's free. I didn't expect it.
Okay, so we got an update. So as you can see, I researched pioneering. So my next step is to build a colonist unit for this quest. So you've got multiple stages to your quests. New tech to do. So we're going to change production. We'll get a trade depot built, so I can show you the trade routes. Now, the problem with the aliens is some of them are quite small, and once you get your military units on the go, you're like, oh, okay, that's some wiped out. And then you find things like the siege worms, which are pretty much the worms from June. They like to run about destroying tiles and killing your units and eating things, and
They have an armor of 6.
yeah, they're a little bit on the nasty side, to say the least. Oh Christ! I just moved up and there's an alien wolf beetle right next to that fucking settlement thing.
Yep.
Pretty much, I sent an explorer unit up to try and find you. Oh, he survived. Oh, dude, do you know there's actually two expedition sites side by side?
Yep.
So I'll just take one of them. So if we click construct an expedition, that one's going to take 5 turns to do, and it does this, and it'll basically just sit there, and in 5 turns we'll get some kind of funky bonus or something.
If it doesn't die.
If it doesn't die.
That's what happened to my guy.
Nah.
Oh, boy, man.
See, like I said, the aliens, they're there instead of barbarians, but they're not dickheads like barbarians were, to put it simply. They will attack, if you start attacking them, they will start coming after you when they see you. But at the same time, if you leave them be, they'll usually most of the time leave you be and stuff. You can get some bonuses that they'll ignore explorer units, stuff like that. Okay, so we've got some venture bonuses here. So okay, so there's effectively think businesses are a big thing in this. That's kind of how the game runs effectively. So we can have there's one company who wants to start up, and if I let them, I get 4 science to any city that establishes a trade route. Or there's another one that provides 1 energy and 3 culture to any city that establishes a trade route. I think we'll go for the New Babylon just now.
They always seem to pop up in
Huh.
I never did it. I not get any notifications when you land.
They have to be near you and stuff. Like if you explored much of the map,
Not really.
that'll be why. Like I've
Regardless of where they land, they notify you.
no, because if you don't see them, then you don't know about them. effectively.
Well, in my single player game, every time any one of them tried to land, I got notified.
Maybe.
Might be different between multiplayer and single player.
There was a few that I wasn't getting notified about though. So we'll start construction on. Ooh, actually, I do want to show you the colonies and how they work, but I think what we'll do is we'll quickly set up. We'll go for a trade convoy. You've got your trade ships and you've got your land, like your trade convoys, effectively. Same as in Civ 5. But like I said, you can only have like I think that trade building I built, it actually trade depot. It actually gives me +1 production and gives me 2 trade routes I can have from that city. So yeah, when you get the quests as well, you get little storylines effectively. And, you know, but they always pay out in a different way. Like this one, I can either gain +1 health from clinics, or clinics give +15 city hit points. I think we'll go for the health. Try and keep it in the positive. See, how's our little dude coming along? Oh, you've got the other one setting up, have you?
Yeah, I ran out of the moves. But they'll be dead in a minute.
Oh, Christ. Why are you getting attacked by aliens so much?
I don't know. Oh, if you head to the right, then you'll see why. I take it you might be the next one to get attacked now.
I'm thinking maybe, but then again, did you attack any of them, or?
Nope.
So there's.
I have a couple of the nests down here.
Okay.
And if you go from the tile that my guys were on, down to the right one and across, right, oh no, you won't see the key, then there's alien nest there.
Ah,
And
right.
then there's one more or less directly south from where your guys are.
Right, as you can see, folks, you can change the trade route cities and get them to sleep and stuff like that, or you can just straight up establish the trade route. And then, as you can see, it works the same as city-states. If you've got nearby other cities, you can trade with them. In future, I could potentially trade with Daniel up there as well. It all depends on like the range of them and things like that. If you trade with other civs, it'll give you the usual. It'll give you an energy and a science boost to both of you. The larger one to the one running the trade route. Or, as you can see, I can trade with Farbase 1. I'll gain energy and science, or New Babylon, energy and culture. So he's up there. So they're both quite close. So effectively, I'll go for that one. Ah, here we go. So the exact same things happened as before. So it looks like looks like some of the trade cities and stuff seem to have the same quest lines come up for them. Because that one, if I go to war with it, like, effectively I just got some stowaways on my trade route that have ran away from the city and they're complaining about stuff. There we go. So my expedition completed. They discovered survivors in derelict settlement, so the refugees gratefully agreed to settle in your city, raising its population by 1. So there you go.
Lucky.
But as you can see, my expedition modules are now down to 0. So I will need to.
What?
Hey dude,
Guys.
just so you know, we are live on Twitch.
Hello, Twitch.
This is
How you doing?
this is our good friend Sam, aka the douchebag from Arma.
Hey.
Yeah, Sam, we're just currently doing a wee tutorial on the new Civ game.
Okay, I'm just loading it up. I've played about half an hour earlier. I got confused. I was too tired after work.
That's why I thought doing a tutorial might be an idea. However, annoyingly, that it's taking a bit longer to go through all this stuff than I thought. Because it's a
Right.
case of finding all the bloody stuff to talk about it, and you know, there is. I forgot there is a lot of new stuff in this game. It's good. So
Oh,
no, I've not been attacked. They're all attacking you. They must like me.
You have
So yeah, as you can see, folks, I've unlocked engineering, which then unlocks the sub thing is. Ah, here we go. We can talk about affinities now. Affinities is one of the main ways you can actually win the game. Up in the top here, you've got your 3 affinities: harmony, purity, and supremacy. Now, as you level them up, they unlock various bonuses. One of the victory conditions is to effectively, you get right the way through one and you can unlock, I think, a structure or some means. That's kind of like a storyline almost, effectively. That with the quests kind of sort of builds the storyline for your civilization, effectively. Now, harmony is sort of about finding a balance between humans and the new planet. We're adapting to the planet. Purity is about adapting the planet to the human needs. So it's about keeping the old traditional ways and keeping humans pure and things like that. Supremacy is about kind of sort of along the lines of conquering / enslaving the planet. You make it do your needs rather than convert it more. I mean, like purity, you try to turn it more Earth-like. Supremacy, you're taking it for yourself, making it work for you. And harmony, you're trying to work with it. It's the easiest way to do it. But you will get things like harmony. The aliens are more likely to be friendly towards you. You can get the miasma will heal you. Purity, you get bonuses to fighting the aliens and stuff, and they won't attack your explorer units. Supremacy can be things like your road maintenance stuff, for example, is free. You can do extra expeditions. Now, you can unlock level 1 in all of them, or level 2 in all of them, or level 6 in all of them. But to win the game, you kind of need to specialise in one more, but you can get the bonuses from them all. And you get bonuses from them at levels 1, 3, 6, 8, 11 and 13. Now, you can work towards that through your quests. I think certain buildings and actions in the game might affect it, but there's also, if I was to research power systems, for example, that would give me a bit towards supremacy affinity. As you can tell by the sort of orange symbol, you can see another one there. You can also find in the tech tree, like tech tree is the easiest way to get them. Because there's one for purity and, let's see if we can find, is that the harm? No. And there's a harmony, some harmony ones. Now, they're all over the place in here, like if I show you them. As you can see, there's quite a few purity, quite a few harmony, and quite a few supremacy. So, you know, that can be a helpful way to try and figure out, right, where am I wanting to go with these kind of routes, you know? Now, while we're on the topic of the affinities though, we shall bring up victory conditions. Now, you can win the game by, there's a signal on the planet, for example. You can find that, and then it starts off a quest line that eventually you try and make contact with an advanced alien race. If you do that, it changes humanity in such a way, blah blah blah, that you know, that's one way to win the game. I think Promised Land, if I remember right. Okay, sorry. Transcendence is effectively you've realised the planet is technically a living organism. You go out your way. Certain techs let you basically communicate with the planet. You win through those means. Contact, you try and contact an alien race. You have to find a radio signal and start working through those storylines. You've got, like I said, your various supremacy and purity and everything. You can still win through domination, capturing all the capitals, and I think emancipation is something to do with diplomacy, if I remember right. Not 100% sure on them all, but effectively, you can still win through scientific means, you can win through military means, or other means, effectively. But it's all to do with keeping an eye out on those quest lines and where they're going. If you're, depending on which ones you're going for.
Right. Am I audible on Twitch?
Yeah, you're coming through quite loud.
Okay. Okay. Do I have to turn that down?
Nah, it's fine, I think. Just don't shout. Yeah, see,
I can hear myself on Twitch.
yeah, Daniel, another trade route just came in, and effectively, I never got a quest line or anything came up. It just came up with a notification that it was there. Military units work a little different in this. There is more units you can get, like you can get a ranger and a artillery unit and stuff like that. Now, effectively, the way it works is, soldier is your basic guy. Now, you might think, like the swordsmen and stuff back in Civ, they were crap, but as you remember, you could upgrade them with better techs. But instead of getting techs to upgrade them, they just stay as soldiers until you unlock higher affinities. Now, to reach tier 2, for the soldier, you need 1 level in any affinity. But to reach tier 3, you need level 6 in either harmony, purity, or supremacy. So they don't combine for those means. So if you had 2 levels in each, you would only have a tier 2 marine. If you had 6 levels in harmony, however, you could build the brawler. Yeah, that's my flatmate walking in the room, by the way, folks. Yeah, we're live on Twitch currently, Glenn. We're doing a tutorial for Civ. Yeah, so effectively, the higher the tier, the stronger they get. They get bonuses. Now, and depending on whether it's harmony or purity or wherever you're going down, it affects what perks they unlock. They still level up from combat, gaining better combat bonuses and stuff like that. But things like healing, defensive bonuses, those little perks, the flanking bonuses, they're all based on which affinity you're taking. And it does change how the actual units look. Now, as you can see, if I show you the combat rover, that needs level 3 of any, but I'm level 8 to reach tier 3. Whereas the soldier is only 1 and 6. So the different units need different tiers, but every tier you get to unlock a unit of some sort. Because that confused me a little bit when I first seen it. I was like, what the hell's going on here? By the way, Sam, if you've got any questions, I mean, you've probably missed quite a bit of the stuff we've been talking about, but if you've got any questions about stuff, feel free to pop in with it.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I do. I'm just trying to figure out the basics, just start off with. What would you suggest I kind of build starting off, like clinics and stuff like that?
It's all
Or
it all really depends on how you want to play it because
yeah,
I mean, like I was saying in this video earlier on, you've now got health instead of happiness. It's not as crippling if you go into negative, but you kind of want to keep it positive because you can get some nice bonuses because you don't get golden ages anymore. So it's
okay,
it's all about this game is all about the little perks adding up. So
right,
if you find you've got lots of little things giving you production bonus, you'll find late game you're producing things a lot faster than everyone else. But early game it
oh,
doesn't make that big a difference, if you know what I mean. So you
okay,
need to be careful. But I mean a lot of the buildings do multiple things. Like the for example the trade depot that I built, it gives me a bonus to production and it gives me 2 trade routes. Clinics, for example, they give you a science boost and a health boost. It's a lot of the buildings aren't here's just one resource.
okay,
So it's and then with the quest lines you can unlock other advantages to them. Like on the single player, I built a perimeter fence, and that's effectively it's a 2 tile radius that aliens can't approach within your city. And then I unlocked
uh,
a quest that gave me a choice. I could either up its range to 3, or what was the other one? I can't remember. There was another bonus as well, but effectively, I could increase the range or I could do something else with it.
oh, God damn, no. Are you both playing multiplayer?
Yeah, we're just doing a 1v1 sort of tutorial video.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back watching him getting slowly like more and more fucked over.
I have 2 nests right next, well, right near my campsite.
Whereas I'm just sitting here back going, there's no aliens next to me, they're all feeding on him.
What's the advantage to these orbiters? Just, I've only got one of them up in the air at the moment, but I was just
Oh,
wondering what they actually.
the satellites
Yeah.
only stay there for so long. What it is satellites are yeah, satellites. Depending on what satellite you've launched, it'll give you they give you big bonuses. I think you can get ones that can
Okay.
actually shoot. Um,
Yeah, I was wondering if they could fire.
yeah, I
That
think you
would
can
be
get weaponized
handy.
ones. You can get resource ones. You can get ones that will remove miasma and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But they'll only stay in the air so long. So like increasing your orbital range is a very good thing, if you know what I mean. Because you can end up putting satellites everywhere then. And you can probably fuck some people over with them if you get the right ones.
What's your opinion on you?
Yep. Right, okay folks, this is a colonist. Now, they work a wee bit different from the Civ 5. Because instead of just wandering about and going, "Bip, there's a city down," you now need to effectively what it'll do is if I build that there, it'll build an outpost. And then you need to keep your outpost alive long enough to turn it into a city.
We got him 7 in his research.
By the way, Daniel, if you're having problems with aliens, I would recommend trying to get defense grid because it'll let you build. No, wait, it's not defense grid. Which one is it? You want ecology because it'll give you the option to build ultrasonic fences, and then aliens can't come within 2 tiles of your city.
Mm-hmm. Wonder how long that would take. Oh, I can't get it without getting it. ecology. Huh.
As you can see though, folks, I haven't had any wonders come up yet. They're not as there's still quite a few of them, but they're not as common as they were in Civ 5. It's not a case of start blasting through research to get all the fancy wonders and things like that. You can see your buildings and unit stuff still work the same, but to gain access to wonders, you still need to research them, but they're a lot rarer on the field. I'm trying to remember where there is one. Here you go. If you were to get genetic mapping, for example, it gives you a wonder, it would give you +4 food, +1 culture, and 10% food growth in all your cities. You know, so they still kind of work the same. You still need to build them the same, but it's not a case of okay, it's turn 5, I'm now building the pyramids, you know? It's usually a wee while till you've got access to them, and if you start researching to get them, you're potentially missing out on other important, if you aim just for them, you're missing out on a lot of useful starter techs, effectively. I really want to get onto... Right, I need to start researching towards covert ops. How do we get covert ops again? Here we go, so it's computing we need. I'm going to actually change my research, just so we can show you the spies and things. The spy network on this is a lot better than it was in Civ 5. It actually feels useful now. It's not just a case of, for fuck's sake, I've got more spies, I can't be arsed using them. Because, yeah, you could do a lot of damage with them in Civ 5, but at the same time, I found a lot of time I just couldn't be bothered with them. And I would just turtle them up in my towns and just try and stop the AI from stealing all my technology, effectively. In this, you actually want to use them, and you sit there going, oh, what am I going to use them for, though? There you go, see, that resource pod there just gave me 50 science points towards computing, so I've just knocked a fair few turns off of that.
If anybody's in any doubt about stuff, there's always this Civilopedia.
Yeah, that's a good point. All you need to do is straight up click the question mark. You've got a whole list of stuff, or you can literally type in whatever you want, you know.
Also, the resource icons, that's a big help since I'm just starting out, I'm realising.
Yeah, I've got them turned on. If folk are wanting to know how to turn them on, it's just a little eyeball icon. So you can choose whether or not you can see the hex grid or the trade routes, things like that. But I find it quite handy to have the resource icons, which is why you can see all these little pop-ups. You can turn on things like the yield icons, but I find it's a bit too much. It's just filling your screen with too much info. Same as I don't really like having the hex grid and stuff like that on. I should probably turn on artifact icons now that I think about it. Yeah, see, that's them just there. Right, now when you've got your colonies, now he's been taking damage because of my asthma, as you can see. We'll ignore that and we'll just click find outpost. Now this isn't a city or anything like that. I can't click on it and tell it to do anything. It's just going to sit there. And it'll just sit there and basically do nothing. It does, however, increase my borders, as you can see. but until that, like, it says it'll grow in 3 turns, but that just means the borders grow. I think you need to have the borders grow like 2 or 3 times before it actually turns into an actual full-blown settlement. Now, if you're wondering why that unit appeared, it's because I completed a quest by founding an outpost. So the reward was I got a free soldier. So we can keep him there just to help defend it. You know, because if aliens or anything come along, that thing goes bye-bye. Now, if Daniel was to come along sending a unit, that thing would be destroyed, and it's deleted from the game, effectively. You can gain, where is it? If we go into virtues, yep. If you get up to the Liberation Army, once you conquer an outpost, you automatically found your own one in its place. Attacking cities, though, you get the choice of raising them, or you can either raise them or puppet them or liberate them effectively. So you know they don't get wiped out. So now, as you can see, I just got a new quest, killing a siege worm. Now, if we go and click on our soldier, just to show you the combat difference, as you can see, if I was to attack that worm, total defeat! My unit gets wiped out and it does about 2 hit points of damage. So I would lose my unit and deal 2% damage to the thing. They're tough bastards.
I'm glad you said that, because I was nearly about to attack one with my Slavic Rangers.
Ranged units can hurt them. I think they generally only move like 1 tile a turn, the siege worms.
Okay, I can stand 2 back, so that's pretty handy.
Yeah. The pain in the arse thing about the siege worms, and this is why those fencing things I was going on about are useful. The problem with siege worms, if they move into a tile that you've worked, it demolishes whatever's there. Like I got fucked over earlier on the single player game because I had a road network set up between my cities, and then all of a sudden a siege worm popped up right in the middle and demolished like the road, so it broke like 2 of my cities off the trade route.
Yeah. Oh shit, I might have something similar happen. I barely did a dent to that thing.
Oh yeah, it'll take you a while to kill it. Once you get your units upgraded, it's not quite so bad, but yeah. Combat basically works exactly the same as it did in Civ 5. Obviously your units can, you know, it's usual they can only move so far and stuff like that. But as you can see, if you mouse over, it'll still tell you the outcomes, so you get your terrain modifiers and things like that. It's all about the strength of your unit, that kind of jazz. Like I said, you can upgrade them by advancing through your affinities, or like, you know, gain wee bonuses from XP or from your virtues and stuff like that. I think the last major thing we need to talk about is just really the spying, isn't it? Here we go. As you can see, deorbit imminent. So all it means is in 5 turns that satellite will come down. Won't cause any damage or anything, but I'll stop getting bonus from it. Christ. Well, this isn't good. Daniel, the siege worm's moving towards my outpost. Shut up!
Serves you right.
Oh,
I think you've angered it.
by the way, folks, as you can see, there is aliens that you'll find in the water. That's a sea dragon there. They're big. They're about the size of, like, you know, a cruiser, effectively. You get bigger though. Release the Kraken!
You said that and all these enemies ran away.
Exactly.
I wish I would have them more off.
It's a kraken. Make sure it's a kraken, not a cracker.
Release the Cracker! Wait, what?
You're cracking me up.
Oh dear, I suppose we better stop with the puns for the kid. For fucking fault, anyone watching starts cracking up.
Oh.
Oh.
Cracker, that one.
Oh, I just got it.
Go. Hey, he died. Yeah. Quick.
By the way, folks, you can use things like combat rovers instead of the scout units to explore, but they don't get the survey options and stuff. So here we go, Wonder Spy Agency. As you can see, it'll take a bit longer to build in some buildings, but again, the network's same, and it's just a standard building. There you go. That one gives you 3 signs and +1 for each copper unit, so, you know, some of your resources do help with things like that. So we'll build a spy agency. That'll take 8 turns. That gets me a new level for a quest. And then just to be on the safe side, we're going to go get ultrasonic fencing done since we do have siege worms floating around.
And it says within 2 tiles, is that just 2 tiles from the city centre?
Yeah.
Or is it 2 tiles within the border?
No, it's 2 tiles from the city. It doesn't have to be within your border.
Okay.
If you get that quest line I was going on about, you do get the upgrade that you can actually increase it to 3 if you want. There we go. So as you can see, folks, my outpost has finally turned into an actual settlement. It's just got the 1 population, but you can see the little border set up the same as usual. Ooh, nice petition right there. I've found a progenitor ruin. I just realised. I think that might be the alien signal thing. Oh, and here we go. That's an alien come near my city. So as you can see, you've still got your usual clicking the button. The city gets bombarded, fires missiles, range of 2. Now, you don't have to have a road network. I think because they're both on the coast, they automatically get a sort of naval connection. If I was to build one here, however, that would need a road, I think, to actually connect them. So how long we got till we get this science building? 5 turns till we get a spy agency. Right. So we can do covert ops now. The way this works, you choose what your operation is. So you can get things like, there's 5 to choose from. You can get a bonus to city defences and hit points, bonus to wonder production, and a bonus to health. These all, there's also operation support. I think that's if your agents are detected, they're more likely to get out alive effectively. And operations reconnaissance, your agents are more likely to succeed. So go for this one. Now what it is I've straight up got 3 guys. Now each of those bonuses, that'll take 2 turns to come into effect, but each of those bonuses are based on how many agents you've got at the HQ. Now, as you can see, they all start as recruits. So, if we start off sending one... Okay, so we can't actually send them up to Daniel yet. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Right. I think, where's my damn Explorer units? Oh, also if anyone's interested, this little arrow here, this is how you bring up your various views, so you can see your traders, your military overview and things like that. So you can find like where your explorers and things are. Yeah, I think, by the way, you've only got 5 border tiles, not 6, I think. That are actually part of that outpost, so I think when you get your next growth, I think it's when you'll... There you go. That's it. Yay, and we can spy on it. Right, here we go, I can finally show the bloody mission. So, you come up with the spy options, you choose where to send them, it takes 2 turns to get there. So we'll leave him be for just now. Right.
I'm gonna get.
So the spies arrived in his city. Now that he's there, I've got the National Security Project, which means the more spies I've got at HQ gives me a bonus to successfully completing the missions. Now, once we've got 1 spy there, so these 2 are effectively backing him up. So if we choose operation. Because there's no... These dots here are effectively the city's level of intrigue, which is at 0. Which means I've only got access to either siphoning energy or establishing a network. Now, establishing a network is a little bit of a way, you know, the more stuff you do, the higher your intrigue gets, stuff like that. So, establishing a network, it's a nice, easy thing to do. The odds of him getting caught are pretty slim. And you can just sort of set it up. It takes 2 turns and it'll help you out a bit. So we'll just get that underway. And there's more bloody... I've never seen this many aliens. What are you laughing at, Daniel? I'm protecting your city. Right, so as you can see, I just completed a mission and it got me a promotion. The first level of promotion is quite easy to get. So, no, it's not going to let me move the camera for some reason. Go. Yeah, as you can see, I can't choose the other things because it's saying higher city intrigue level is required. Now, next option, so the only option I've got is siphon energy, but this is quite good because it means I'm effectively nicking it off him. So that'll take 9 turns to pass. Just quickly, oh, for Christ's sake. Spying on me, are you? Yeah, you are. I just detected one of your spies, though. That's how you do defensive spying missions, if anyone's curious. Just trying to get to the damn point where this next one's coming out. What was that noise, Glenn? Okay.
You have discovered robotics.
Finally, okay. So, successfully passing our mission. We stole 107 cash. Gotten our promotion. Doing quite good. Now, as you can see, the dots filled up, so, you know, the levels increased with this. And now I've unlocked the ability to steal science from. Now, this isn't stealing tech, it's just I steal some science points. Now, as you can see, as your levels increase with it, this is your intrigue level, not your spies level. Just, you can eventually steal actual technologies, recruit defectors, meaning you nick military units, hack satellites, so you can knock satellites out of orbit, coup d'etat, you steal the city. Now, these higher level ones, when you get to here, we've knocked it off. When you get to level 5, that's the maximum level, right? Now you can, if you've got level 11 affinity for purity, you can plant dirty bombs. Effectively it sets off a nuclear device, reducing the population of the city by half. If you're going down the what's that one called again? Sorry, it's been a long game. Yeah, if you're going down the harmony, you can effectively plant a harmonic device which attracts siege worms to attack the city. And if you're going down the I keep forgetting their name, the supremacy route, you can sabotage it. And it destroys every tile improvement within 3 tiles of the city. So you get some pretty savage things you can do with the spying and stuff. But obviously, the higher it is, the more difficult it is to pull off. Sure, Leon, it's quite effective. You know, you just keep spamming the steal energy or steal science from them, and you'll eventually build up your intrigue level. And then boom, you can either wipe them out or just sit and siphon stuff off and use it to support military advance, or just to weaken your enemy, or however you want it, really. And yeah, so I think that's about the gist of the game then, folks. As you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same when you attack cities. Just thought we'd get a little bit of excitement in the end of the video here. Now, I can't actually take a city because all my units decided to run off and be a bunch of cunts. Otherwise, with these attacks, that would have been the city right for the taking. And yeah, this is pretty much where Mouselink can just run in. And, like, my guys, they do a lot. The guys that have those missile units, they do a lot of damage, but they don't have the greatest of defense. But it's pretty much fine because all I can do is just damage a city. I can't actually capture it. And yeah. This video has gone on for a long time, so I will be shortening it down for YouTube, and by a lot I would like to point out. But I hope this has actually been of use to folk, and I hope folk find it interesting. If you want to see more detailed stuff, or see some, like, any interesting ideas you've got from me doing videos, just leave us a message in the comment or anything. Don't forget to please like and subscribe us on YouTube as well. It does us a big favour, helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you later, folks.